We were in the middle of November 2016 and I had no clue where to start because my plan was to go full-time handyman here in January of 2017, but I absolutely had no clue kind of where to start or where to even look into as far as marketing goes for my handyman business. So this is what I did. I reached out to a bunch of different handymen in my area. I basically went on Yelp, went on Google, and I found handymen that were local to the area that I wanted to operate in, and I basically gave them a call. Hey friends, welcome to day 6 of my 100-day challenge here on YouTube. If you guys haven't been following along, I would recommend you check out the last 5 days. I basically started September 1st and we are going for the next 100 working days, releasing one video a day, talking and kind of reminiscing about when I first started up my handyman business, the challenges that I had, in hopes that I could impart some wisdom on you guys. It's also day 6 of having our general manager in place. So in our business, we promoted one of our employees up to general manager. That moves me up to CEO, basically in charge of marketing, finances, and company culture. We'll be hopping more into that here later, but super stoked, and I thought it would be a cool opportunity to bring a 100-day challenge and really just kind of try and impart some stuff that I wish I knew when I first started out onto you guys. So back to the story here. So what I did is I reached out to a bunch of different handymen. There was about 6 different handymen in my city that I lived in. So I thought, who better to ask kind of how the handyman business is going than these people? So I reached out to each and every one of them. Only about 1 or 2 of them actually called me back. But I remember this one guy that did call me back. He gave me some really valuable information. And this is kind of my key for you guys, is the first thing you got to do when you're thinking about marketing. So this week, for instance, day 6 to day whatever, 10, 11 is going to be all about marketing and how I first started out in marketing, going through where I marketed, the mistakes I made, the things I wish I knew, and this and that. But this is a great thing that was really helpful for me. Number one thing you got to do when you're talking about marketing is do market research. Okay, so that really involves figuring out what kind of market there is, who's operating in that market, and what's the potential for that market. So I called a bunch of different handymen. One handyman actually called me back. We had a great conversation. Basically talked to him about, hey, do you charge hourly? Do you charge by the job? What's your hourly rate? How booked out are you? This guy, I think at that time he was charging like, I think it was like 40 bucks an hour. He was booked out for maybe a week or 2. But he said, he's been doing this for about 2 years and he's loving it because basically he gets to kind of make his own schedule and, do things as he wants to and this and that, doesn't have to take jobs that he doesn't want to. I'm like, that sounds awesome. So that kind of like jumped into me starting my business, but I've learned a whole heck of a lot since that point. In fact, that handyman I don't believe is even in business anymore. If you're watching this video, reach out to me. If you are the guy that I reached out to when I first started out, I would absolutely love to hear that. But he gave me some great information about kind of where the market stood for the handyman business. And so I basically took where I wanted to be and applied that to the handyman business. And obviously this was kind of like an ongoing process. I didn't do it all at once. I didn't create this big business, on the first day, right? They say, Rome wasn't built in a day, but it was built every single day. Right? I think that's a good point. A lot of times people think that they're just going to hop right in and have a whole bunch of success right out the gate. I know that's what I thought. That's what we talked a lot about last week, right? I'm like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to charge this amount, and it's just going to be like, I'm going to be rolling in the dough like right away. That's not how it works. In fact, there's some times when I'm still not rolling in the dough, still trying to figure things out. Even though we've grown to a point where we have a couple techs out in the field. We have a tech assistant, we have a general manager, we have a secretary. There's still systems and processes that I'm still trying to iron out to make things better. And that's why this is called the handyman journey, because it's a journey that ultimately you'll never really finish or complete. You're always learning. And really the day that you stop learning is the day that you kind of like just die, whether that's internally or externally. So basically reached out to this guy, gave me some great information, and so I was able to take that information and apply it to my business. It even gave me kind of a starting point as far as pricing, what the market, will bear in my area. He was charging 40 bucks an hour. I decided to charge 50 bucks an hour, just kind of a number I chose out of thin air. And quickly, I found the results that he talked about. I quickly got booked out for a week. I got booked out for 2 weeks. I got booked out for 3 weeks. Even at one point, I was booked out for 2 months. And I was absolutely blown away. But doing that market research was really helpful for me to figure out kind of where I fit in the handyman industry, right? Because when you're just like some guy thinking about starting up a handyman business, it can be very scary, it can be very intimidating, but reaching out to other handymen in your area can be helpful because you don't feel as alone, right? Now what's great, and I love the saying that, you know, at the low end, right, people are competing, right? At the high end, people are, you know, cooperating with each other. And that's really like the goal in business. And that's what we've done by and large at the Handyman Journey Mastermind group. It's a free group on Facebook. If you're not part of that, join it right now. There's over 11,000 people in there. But that's all about collaboration and cooperating with each other. We basically bounce ideas off each other all the time. We talk. One story I love, you know, a few months ago, I went down south and went on kind of like a little handyman tour, you know, interviewed a bunch of guys, and actually have that on my channel. I'll post one of those up here. But I met with a few guys, you know, Evan Plata, Kevin Moles, and Jonathan Potter, and it was just really cool to hear their story, and they're all in the same area. But they're able to, you know, collaborate with each other and pass jobs around and really, you know, be friendly with each other, right? They're not so much about competing with each other, even though they're within probably a 30, 40 mile radius of each other, but they can actually work together and help each other out. That's really what business is all about. So if you haven't yet, I would highly recommend you reaching out to the handyman in your area. You may not get calls back, but the ones that you do, you may actually be able to establish some really, really good relationships with. You may be able to pass work on to them. They may be able to pass work on to you. And also do the same for contractors, plumbers, electricians around your area. Start creating a list of contacts of people that you trust that you can refer clients to. You don't have to do everything, but it's great to have someone who can do everything that you can't do. So if you don't do painting, find a good painter that you would recommend. That's kind of my information. Tomorrow we're going to be digging into one really controversial thing in marketing. You guys will have to wait till tomorrow to hear that, but tune in tomorrow for day 7 of this 100-day video challenge. Leave me a comment in the comment section below. Also like and subscribe to this channel. Thank you guys. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.